Now we're going to talk about how to perform project tests. So just like this shows, perform project tests should happen after you have finished converting your project to be multiplayer. This means you've converted all the scenes you want to, you've converted all the prefabs you want to, and you have converted all the scene objects that you want to. So after you've done that, you can choose a target directory that you want to test. Now, by default, this will test your entire project, excluding the Invector directory. So it will not scan that because there's no reason to scan that there. So you can say test scenes. So if we click that, it will show all the scenes that you currently have enabled in your project, or you can say just run through and test every single scene. And again, you can come in here and you could say, oh, I actually only want to test these target scenes. And when you're ready, you can say perform tests. But on top of that, we can actually iterate through every single prefab in our project and test it to make sure that it is set up correctly. So I can say test prefabs, and as soon as I click it, you see it says searching your project for prefabs in your project. And so this, as you can see, takes about 10 seconds to do, but it will definitely take a lot longer in larger projects. That could probably take you, I'm going to guess 5-10 minutes to scan your entire project if it's quite large. And again, you can come in here and you can, delete certain items that you want or keep everything. For this particular case, I'm actually just going to keep everything, and we're just going to scan everything. I'm also going to just disable scene scanning here, just because I'd like to just show it in terms of the prefabs. So once I have things set up in the way that I want to, and you can also change the directory path if you only want to test in a particular directory path. So for example, I only want to test in the CB Games directory. You can do that. And after you do that, be sure to disable things and then re-enable it so it can re-perform those scans. But with that enabled, let's go ahead and perform those tests. Okay, so this opened up in the other window, but when it is done, it will open up a new window. And if you have performed these tests previously and you accidentally close this window, so let's close that down and say, oh dang, I didn't see those test results. I've provided this button here for you that says open previous test results. So we'll go ahead and click that, and that will open up and reload all the test results that were shown previously. Now by default, it says show everything, show past, warnings, and critical, but now you have to say show prefab results or show scene results. And there's a little key here. Green means good, yellow means this may not be set up the way you want, and red means you need to fix it. So if I say show prefabs, and if I click highlight object, we can see that it highlights the object here. And body snapping control, and actually I probably need to change it so that it pings that object in the hierarchy view. But we can actually dive in here, and it says the V-body snapping control. The V-body snapping control component provided by Invector is unreliable in multiplayer mode. You need to remove this component and place the object that they are snapping to manually. So let's go ahead and just have a look at this prefab. Let's open him up, and I'm pretty sure I fixed that with this one, but let's look here. Oh, look at that. I sure didn't. We got ourselves body snapping control. So here I would have to go in and I would have to manually fix this and then re-perform the tests to see if it passed the test. But you can see how helpful this would be in order to be able to track down things that may have failed. So I'm going to say just only show me the warnings and criticals. So that shows you the example of a critical. Let's have a look at a warning. And this one says it's on the multiplayer hit damage particle component, and then the description on that, and it's on the enemy AID. So here the enemy AID and multiplayer hit damage particle. And it says this doesn't have a default damage particle effect set. So if I look at that and I open default damage particle effect, sure enough, it is blank. And so that may or may not be what I want it to be, but I'm guessing since you're including a hit damage particle, you probably want to have some sort of particle effect showing. So that shows an example of how you can track down if this is the way that you want it to run or not. So use these project tests to help bolster your confidence in your builds and help track down errors before you even get to the build.